Good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar of the Covhack Online Innovation Challenge.
Just a second, Ara. I didn't broadcast yet. 1 second. I'm broadcasting now.
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the Covhack Circular Food Economy presented by the Innovate for Good in collaboration with the UAE Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, Khalifa Fund, Masdar, United Nations, Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park, Catalyst, and Stratecis. I would like to present myself. My name is Ara Fernezian, and I am the founder and CEO of Stratecis and Innovate for Good, and I will be your host and panelist for today. A quick housekeeping notes for everyone on the platform with us today. Please use the chat box feature if you have any technical questions, and the team will give you all the necessary feedback. If you have questions to the presenters or the panelists, please use the Q&A box. The Q&A box will give you the facility of asking questions, and we are going to take it one by one. So as a reminder, this session is streamed on YouTube live at the channel Innovate for Good channel. The agenda for today, it will be 5 minutes with the welcome note. I'm going to give you a description about the session today. And the panelists will give you an introduction about the Covhack and the benefits and why we're doing it and how you can join. And then we're going to have a 20-minute of Q&A and wrap up. So we will cover introduction to the Covhack, why the need for the circular food economy, how can SMEs and startups benefit from the Covhack, and how can youth benefit from joining and their role in the innovation ecosystem. Our panelists today, Amal Al-Ahmadi from Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, Afra Al-Dahri from Khalifa Fund for Enterprise Development, Zainab Al-Ali from Masdar, Chinar Kura from Catalyst, and myself, I'll be there. And we have a guest speaker as well, Mr. Tariq Salam from Sharjah Technology and Innovation Park. I'm going to start presenting to you the Covhack, and we're going to go from here. So the Covhack, first of all, everybody was asking us, what is it? So it's an innovation challenge. The Cov, it's related to COVID, and Hack is in hackathon. That seeks to discover innovative ways of building resilience in local and global food supply chains through shifting towards a circular economy in the post-COVID-19 world. The Covhack is open for startups, entrepreneurs, and individual teams. The theme circular economy for food corresponds with the UN Sustainable Development Goal, the SDG 12, the responsible consumption and production. And we expect in this program to have about 300 to 400 applications. During the round 1, we are going to select 40 ideas, and then in round 2, which is the semi-final, 20 ideas, and eventually on the 20th and 21st of July, we're going to have only first winners from every category. The topic areas that we are focusing on for this challenge is 8 focus areas. One is, so the applicants, they need to focus on one, they need to solve one of the focus points that you're seeing in here. One is water efficiency related to smart irrigation, greenhouse cooling, alternative water resources, and desalination residues. Number 2 is energy efficiency in agriculture. Number 3, innovations in sustainable growing media, sustainable greenhouse technologies and smart farming, food loss and waste management, distribution channels and delivery, sustainable packaging, and urban farming. And we're gonna, and the focus will be as well on 3 innovation types. One, your product should be either a technology, a service, or a product. And of course, you need to use the circular economy principles while developing your idea. So I'll give you an agenda about how it's going to work. The closing date for the submission is 18 June. You need to present 2-minute video pitch about the idea and explain more, and an idea deck. So you have 2-minute video pitch. You can do it with your own phone and present it, or if you have a ready product, you can present it. And we need as well as a mandatory an idea deck, which is 5 slides that you need to present as well, and I'll explain what is it. From 19 to 23, the judges will meet, we'll have a judging panel, and we are going to shortlist 40 solutions. And the 40 solutions will be mentored, and I mean by mentorship is that we are going to look at your model, the business model and your innovation, and help you in let's say in 21 days into improving what you are doing, so that you are ready for the final project submission, which will become, your 2-minute video will become then a 5-minute final pitch video, and your pitch deck will be much longer to give more description about what you're doing. And then from 16 to 19 July, we are going to shortlist 20 solutions, and this will be the semi-final. And then on 2021, all the solutions that you have presented to us online will be presented live in front of the judges, and you will be present, each one of you, for a Q&A. So your 5-minute video and 10-minute in total, it will be the Q&A where the judges are going to ask you about many questions related to your technology or the solution you presented. So who can apply? Just before I jump to this one, everything is going to be done online. It's fully virtual, and this is the interesting part about what we're doing. So who can apply? We have two categories here. We're looking for early stage startups, and we're looking at individuals as well, innovators and young professionals, tech talents, and of course, students are welcome to join as well. There is no all around, so it's open for everyone around the world, and there is no age category. You need to at least have a member which is adult enough in the team, but the other members of the team could be younger, but the lead person should be above 18. So the category of the startups, you need to have a prototype or an MVP, or you need to have an early development stage of product, which we call it as well the pre-A series. So, and during this, you need to present the technology that you are developing or the product or the service. As for the teams, this is the new entry that we have. So I'm going to give it to you more in description. So we are a team. We have an idea to solve the challenge. And you may be looking for other team members to join you as well. Or you may be looking at joining other teams. So when you are applying on the platform, there are some questions we are going to ask you, whether you want to be part of another winning team, or you're simply looking for other people to join your team. This will only work once you are passed through the round 1 shortlisting, which is the 40 solutions. It will give you like 3-4 days to find a team, to build a team, to help you grow, to go to the next step. Or you might be an individual, you don't have a team, but you're looking for a team. So once you have the 40 shortlisting happening, we are going to allow all the winning team to access individuals to give them opportunities to join their teams. Or you might have a great idea, but you don't have a team. If you win, this is going to give you an opportunity to team up with other members on the project. So on how to apply, I'll give you some short tips for the ones first time they're doing it. Make your story stand out. Don't standardize your pitch deck. Instead, tailor it based on our guidelines. So next slide, I can explain to you more. Keep it short and clear. Keep rehearsing it until you can tell the problem right, the solution, and the unique selling proposition in easy words that anyone can get it in less than 2 minutes. Send your solution to the below link, which is www.i4good.com/the-Covhack, or if you visit www.i4good.com, you'll find it. 18 June 2020, 23:59 GMT +4 is the deadline, and this is how it's going to work. So your initial submission online, we need to have it, as I explained earlier, 2-minute pitch video, 5 slides explaining what is it, so the summary of your idea, the challenge and the solution. So you need to clearly demonstrate the problem and clearly demonstrate the solution you're trying to solve, and how you are going to solve it. Is it a product, a service, technology? And you need to explain to us the offer and why is unique what you are doing. And the third thing, it is the who, the team, who's behind it. Make sure that whoever is presenting the team, you need to show, as we always say in our business, 10% is the idea and 90% is the execution. So even if you have the best idea, you need to make sure that you have the team to deliver. And this is where you need to make sure as a leader of a team or a startup team that you need to have the right team in place to get more points in your submission. So when you pass the round one, when you pass the submission, you enter the 40 solutions phase. You need to have here 5-minute pitch video. And this is where we are going to help you develop it. We will have seasoned mentors to be with us on this, and we are going to divide you, each 2 3 of you with different mentors. So this slide will have the team. Who are they? I'm sure by the time you go to the round 2, it will give you enough time to develop your team. We need a clear summary of your idea, the problem, and the opportunity. You need to develop the value proposition, your impact, the underlying magic. So what makes your idea so unique? Maybe there are many of your idea that exist in the market already, but I'm sure that some of your idea might be very unique from the competition. You need to explain the business model, your go-to-market strategy, your competitive analysis. Will be great if you make survey in the 3 weeks, sending some survey monkey about people in your industry, to give some opinion about the idea, and will be even greater if you have some people giving their comments to this. And then financial forecast. This is not mandatory per se, unless if you're a startup that you need to present something, because this is something will be asked by the accelerators. So it's very important that all videos and decks should be either in English or with English subtitles. So if you want to present in Arabic, you can, or in any language. But here we need to make sure that you have a subtitle. We like to give you a little good indication on this that we have today on our webinar today. Lamis can explain to us the countries that are participating with us on this competition, and so far how many they are. Lamis, if you can give us some update, please.
Hello, everyone. We have a wonderful list of countries: Nigeria, Ghana, Turkey, Jordan, Netherlands, USA, Indonesia, Lebanon, India, Tunisia, Egypt, the UK, Morocco, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Kuwait, Chile, Spain, Russia, Oman, Pakistan, Kenya, Kazakhstan, Palestine, Togo, France, Bulgaria, and of course, the United Arab Emirates.
And we have about 230, I assume, applied so far, if I'm not wrong. So the question is what the opportunities are for the winners. Of course, you will be playing a big role in solving a major problem in the world. This is by itself is a great initiative that will be part of the solution to what the world needs today. And Amal will explain to us more why what you are doing is going to be really interesting. So the winning startups and teams, this is every winner is going to get it, will be mentored by the Minister of Climate Change and Khalifa Fund for a period of 3 to 6 months to help them advance with their innovation. And there will be free space by Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park, and certain incentives offered by them for the winners. So as I explained, the winners we are going to have one winner from every category. So we have one winner from startups and one winner from the teams, and we're going to have the second runner-up from everyone. So this 4 will be receiving certain advantages, and we are going to this will be displayed as such. Now, the interesting part, now this is where the funding comes, financial funding, subject to eligibility. Now Chinar, the CEO of Catalyst, and Tarek later on can explain to us for you to be eligible to enter their acceleration program, what does it mean? So just to make some clarity, if you win the Covhack, you don't automatically get through the funding. There is certain criteria that you need to have, and if you have them, you will be receiving funding to up to now $190,000 and includes 6 months of acceleration. And from Sharjah RTI, there will be a $50,000 of incubation support and $50,000 of funding. This is as well, there is a terms and conditions to be part of the second part. So just to make sure, the Covhack winners will get the mentorship and the free space, but the funding is always subject to eligibility with terms and conditions by Catalyst and Sharjah Research. So I will give now the opportunity to Amal Hassan Ahmed Al-Ahmadi, Senior Analyst from the UAE Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, to explain to us why the need for the circular economy for food. Please, Amal.
Thank you so much, Ara. Hello, everyone. My name is Amal Ahmadi. I'm a Senior Analyst at the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. I overlook research and development for food and agriculture at the ministry. So I'll begin with telling you briefly why circular food economy. So the UAE have been targeting sustainability in achieving food security and food diversity. And earlier in 2018, actually, the ministry have launched a food diversification plan, and later on, the Ministry of State for Food Security have also launched a food security plan. Through these plans, we are looking at the whole food system and trying to moving it from the regular old linear system into a circular system. So because we do realize, especially in a country like the UAE, how valuable our resources are, how valuable our water is, and other resources such as fertile soil, for example. So in our food diversity plan, for example, we are looking at the whole system, at the whole food system. So we're looking at food production, food utilization, food trade, food investments, R&D in food, technologies, logistical solutions for food as well. In addition to that, we have launched another initiative specifically for sustainable food production and consumption, just to further emphasize on the importance of the circularity of the food system. Here in Covhack, we are focusing we are limiting our focus a little bit more on food production and food utilization and logistical solutions as well. These issues have risen to be very important to us as a country, not just for the UAE, but for the whole world, especially in a time like this during the COVID pandemic. So here in Covhack, we are focusing on resource efficiency in energy and water. We are focusing on smart cooling solutions, smart irrigation solutions, because we are not just spending a lot of water on irrigation, but most of, if any of you have some agriculture background, you would know that most of the water goes to cooling systems. We're also looking into smart and innovative logistical solutions, food waste and food utilization. So this is again going back to the circularity of the food system. We don't want to go back to the linear system, where the linear food system focused more on, yes, we will recycle, we will utilize food waste or agricultural waste when we can. But in the circular food system, circular economy, you have to have a systematic approach where you have to have a plan on utilizing everything from the start, from the production all the way to the end and to the waste. So there is really no waste anymore. And the ministry have also launched another initiative to further support our approach and our commitment to reduce food waste, for example, through launching a food waste pledge in 2018 as well, in cooperation with our private sector. So moving forward, we are looking more into sustainability, more into working with our private sector, especially innovators and entrepreneurs as well. So we are very much interested to work with you guys to look at the innovations that you might have and ideas that you also might have, and how can you align yourself with the country's strategic policies and priorities. And Covhack represents a very good opportunity for you guys to do that, because this is where we can show you very well where our priorities are for such a situation.
Amal, I have a question on this topic. Do you see investment will grow in the sector? I mean, is it just a matter of because of the risk of COVID that this is becoming now a priority, or you think this is going to remain a growing sector over the years?
No, absolutely. This is a growing sector, and we have been noticing a lot of growth in the food system, and especially the circular economy, circular food economy. So even in the UAE, we do not have a climate that is suitable for agriculture. However, we have noticed a huge increase in agricultural companies, especially the ones that work with agri-tech. In addition to that, to push them even further to come to the UAE and find solutions, and because this is a priority to us, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed have also launched another initiative last year to support the attraction of agri-tech and agri-tech innovations to Abu Dhabi and to the UAE. So this is definitely not something that's happening during COVID, no, because if it was only during COVID, we would not have been in such a good situation, actually. We have been doing very good because we had already plans and solutions for such a situation, or even worse. However, we want to be also, more prepared for the future. We want to use more technologies. We want to be more cautious about our resources. We don't want to say we can use whatever resource we need because we are in a bad situation right now. No, we need to always be efficient when it comes to our resources.
Thank you, Amal. This is really encouraging to know that during such a pandemic situation that exists, and a lot of businesses, they are troubled. And at the same time, you are giving us a good hope that if people invest time and energy into growing sectors like this, they can actually go through certain challenges they're facing. And I can see the amount of support we are all getting into driving such a very interesting industry. And even I saw a report earlier that in 2019, over $20 billion of funding startups received globally, everyone who was working on the agri-tech and the food tech business, which in the past wasn't that interesting sector, by the way. There has been a lot of discussions that in the past, let's say over 5 to 10 years, more accelerators and funds were not focused on this sector. Maybe Chinar here and Tarek can give us a bit more of later on, we can discuss it. But we've seen more and more venture capitals and more governments and funds are focusing on a sector that really, I mean, we're talking here not only on a vertical aspect about the sector we're presenting, but as well we're talking about the horizontal aspect when it comes to the artificial intelligence use, the IoT, the big data, and so on. So this is not the conventional way of looking at, I think, agriculture and food, as I understood.
Absolutely. And you can notice even in the news that the countries have been depending a lot during this pandemic on entrepreneurs, on small farmers, to overcome any challenges that could arise from, the situation happening, from the lack of the logistical issues that have maybe risen. So our entrepreneurs, our innovators, small farmers have been key to overcome the challenges during this time.
Thank you so much, Amal. Our second question or third question. Now, definitely, we have an interesting area. Afra Al-Dahiri, she's an entrepreneur consulting section head at Khalifa Fund for Enterprise Development. Afra will give us a little bit of indication, what is Khalifa Fund and what do you do? And number two, how can SMEs be part of such an innovation ecosystem and how they can benefit from such a programs, knowing that SMEs business model is quite different than startups. So what can you tell us about this, Afra?
Thank you, Ara. Thank you for the introduction. As you know, Khalifa Fund is an Abu Dhabi-based government entity that supports SMEs and UAE, in the UAE and over 20 countries internationally. Our support services that covers the UAE include funding and in the form of interest-free soft loans and business counseling, where we help the entrepreneur build their business model and eventually building their actual business. We also provide entrepreneurs with capability building services such as training programs. Since the crisis, we actually trained over 1,600 people in open free training courses in various topics related to entrepreneurship and in crisis management. And we also provide SMEs with consultancy services where we worked with them on a one-on-one basis or on group sessions. We're also excited about this project, which is we're upgrading our knowledge platform, which is SME Knowledge.ae. It is an open platform for aspiring entrepreneurs with tools, templates, and articles that can help them in modeling their business and or even managing it. We also included in this website a portal directing all SMEs towards the incentive plans that were provided by the government and the private sector. And we're expecting to launch it in the coming few days. So going back to the question, how does SMEs benefit from this hackathon? So any hackathon is an opportunity for a business to create innovative and practical improvements to their businesses. Few SMEs are not aware of the opportunities for growth and innovation that are available for them. So in one way, we are creating awareness for SMEs with this hackathon. Of course, our wish is for these farms that are working with us to actively participate in the hackathon. And I'm sure that many of these businesses, for many of these businesses, the experience might be new, but I'm equally sure that the process will open new opportunities for these businesses. So Khalifa Fund provided financial support to 88 hydroponics farms under a program called Zar'i, with about 80 million dirhams in loans. And we believe that the success from moving these businesses into more technology-driven projects can be accelerated even more from the innovative ideas and concepts that will come out of this hackathon. So in summary, we think that the hackathon will provide awareness for small and medium enterprises, that there are innovative solutions that are within their reach, and we are connecting them with the potential technology providers. So if they're not participating actively, then maybe we can connect them with the people who are participating in this hackathon. Should I talk more about Zar'i, Ara?
You know what is interesting here, what Amal was saying earlier, what you're saying, like UAE I think we had here quite a leadership on this topic. This is not happening because of COVID. It's been the technology growth in food and agriculture, I think by the ministry started maybe over 2 years now. It's not new. But now it's been accelerated further. But I think the Zar'i program, how old is it?
Zar'i was actually started in 2013. So it's above 7 years now. And the program itself was through the directions of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. So by that, Khalifa Fund became the first funding agency to fund startups farming using hydroponics technology in the UAE. And we had clear instructions. We have a big problem, as Amal said earlier, that water consumption is the biggest challenge in terms of agribusiness. So the program had a goal to reduce water consumption by 80% and to enhance food security in the UAE. The program includes both the financial aspect and non-financial, where we provide them with services that provide the farms with services that go beyond funding, where we help local producers. So there are existing farms that were running a traditional farm, and we converted them to hydroponic farming. And we believe that farms under Zar'i program will support UAE National Food Strategy, the 2051 strategy, to implement resilient agriculture that increase productivity and production that helps maintain the ecosystem.
Thank you, Afra. This is really very promising and encouraging, I think, for everyone. I'll go to this fourth question. We have Zainab Al-Ali. She's Senior Manager and Outreach and Stakeholder Relations at Masdar. She's been active in the youth program for many years now, and she's one of the top ambassadors I know who've been encouraging the growth of the young people and integrate them into the innovation ecosystem, and invested a lot of energy and time into upskilling and reskilling and taking them forward what's happening in the future. Zainab, in your opinion, in your experience now, how can youth benefit from innovation challenges? And on a macro level, where do you see their role in the innovation ecosystem today? Now that you're seeing a lot of disruption happening, whether on the school system, whether and now there are new opportunities coming up. How do you see all this happening? What you can tell us?
Thank you so much, Ara, and thank you for inviting me to join this interesting discussion. In order for me to answer this question, let me just give you a little bit of background and information on the topics to set the scene. So it is estimated by 2050 that the world's total population will total up to 9 billion people who will need sufficient, safe, fresh, and nutritious food to survive. Now, this makes it very important, very crucial for our youth to understand this future challenge, and to have our future generations of farmers, scientists, producers, to ensure the planning and the preparation for their generation and those that follow have access to stable and abundant economy. So today, our young people make up to 16% of the world's total population. And in order to prepare them and enable them to the future, we need to educate them with a sustainable education. So it's in my point of view that it's our responsibility to educate them, to enhance their skills, their talents, so they are well equipped with the means for them to become advocates and leaders to securing a future sustainable, specifically in agriculture. Now, in 2019, the Food and Agriculture Organization, one of the United Nations, declared that there are 2 billion people are currently facing food insecurity. That means that they don't have access to food nutrition. I'm sure that this number have increased because of COVID-19, closing of borders, lockdowns and disruptions. The trade and supply chain is restricting people from accessing nutritious food. So the act is now. We need to be proactive, and we need to be prepared for the future. As mentioned by my colleagues Amal and Afra, we're prepared for this. And as Emiratis, we learned the importance of agriculture from our late father, our founding father, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan, who said, and let me share with you this quote: "Give me agriculture, I will give you civilization." So, put simply, food security ensures that the health and well-being of our world. Our youth hold responsible of ensuring this. So I'm also sure that you are all familiar with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals led by the United Nations, and more than half of those goals concern food security, as well as the effects related to food resources, including poverty and lack of jobs. What I think, and I believe, that COVID-19 haven't taught us not to be prepared, because we're already prepared, but through also the Youth for Sustainability Hub that runs by Masdar, we are dedicated to ensuring that our young people are ready and have the access of the resources to enable them to bring about positive change. So with the proper tools, proper work in a transformed world. I think participating in Covhack Innovation Challenge will give them another educational opportunity to further their education, and also to build on the skills that are very necessary and instrumental in the future. Last year, during Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, the Youth for Sustainability has launched the Future Skills 2030 report. This report outlined 14 soft skills that the young people need to acquire in order for them to succeed in our increasingly digital world. These skills including entrepreneurship, resilience and adaptability, complex problem solving, and also the pursuit of different forms of learning. Now, recognizing that these skills are much needed now, even before 2030. Those people will be able to. These skills are really much needed. So through Hackathon Innovation Challenge, I think also we're realizing that it provides innovation, it provides education, it provides entrepreneurship, which I mentioned. These skills are very important for our young people to acquire more than ever. And upskilling became, to be very honest, upskilling became the new normal for our young people to be engaged and be very proactive at. So I would like to close my conversation here to address my conversation to our young people who are attending our webinars today. Do you feel you're ready? Do you feel that you have the skills needed to combat the pandemic? If no, I would really encourage you to participate at the challenge. And I would like to recommend that we all collaborate to create or shape a better, more resilient future. Because if COVID-19 has taught us anything, it taught us that together we're stronger.
Amazing, Zainab. You said it right. I think there is a big question here. A lot of young people today, they think they may have a role in all of this, or they may not. Today they're living with their parents, and I believe that the young people are much more, I think, equipped than we think.
Ara seems to be having some technical difficulties. Please just hold on a minute. Okay, I will moderate the session from now on. I'm Lamis from the Innovate for Good team. Moving on to Catalyst and
Yes.
Chinar. Yes, please.
Hello. Where's my slide? I think because Ara is sharing his slides. Anyway, welcome all. Thank you for joining. It's a great session. I also see on the participants some names like Jihad, Haytham, and many more. Thank you for joining. Some good startups. Now we're Catalyst. Since we don't have the slides yet, but we're an accelerator, and we formed the whole operations in 2017 and 2018 when in May, approximately 2 years ago, when we started our operations. And I'll go through the slides, and then perhaps and then I'll address to the questions right away. And I don't know if you can put our slides as well, Lamis. If not, I'll just continue. We're located in Masdar City. We were not, to be honest, when we first started, we didn't really think that, okay, how are we going to do this acceleration fund for the interesting startups? But the whole team, since we are a BP and Masdar joint venture company, both entities supported us massively with all their workforce to get to a stage where we are today. So we are the regions, to be honest, probably the GCCs, and actually in the world, one of the only accelerator that's specifically focusing on sustainability and clean tech. Acceleration means, of course, to have a prototype on hand, a working prototype, or this prototype means a product or a system that's ready to be sold in the market, in different markets, as long as it captures the areas that we are focusing on the right upper corner, as you see on the field. So one is the food security and monitoring. We're also conducting, there's another food security challenge going on at this moment. Recycling technologies, it's an area that I specifically worked before, and this is something we really like to transform different materials into different new materials. E-mobility, energy efficiency and renewable technologies. Efficiency is, again, as long as you're an efficient, you're a startup that's focusing on efficiency on whatever you do, then you are welcome to apply. Environmental and agrotech. As we see, many people got stuck at their apartments, and deep down, the most important questions: can I have good food on my table? Can this food be certified, and can this will I get sick or not? So in my environment, and we saw during, again, this COVID, that the environment started to come back because we're not driving, we're not flying, we're not traveling. And the recent one, based on our one of our investment committee member from Abu Dhabi Investment Office, we started to elaborate if we can support health technologies. But in this case, is a different story. So we're an accelerator located in Masdar City. Is one of the main mission is, of course, to create different technologies that are focusing on sustainability with sustainable growth. So we're looking for companies that have different products, not just one product, and always develop. Yes, it's an acceleration, but within this acceleration, within the budget and within the time, we urge startups to go back and reiterate research and development to come back with a better product along the way, or later on when they graduate from our program. So the period is actually 12 to 18 months, we say, but the first 6 months is the most important for the massive acceleration. The support, a lot of support. I mean, we have space, yes, but besides the space is that a startup has a chance to work and cooperate with a lot of professionals that you see on the panelists. And besides, we have the legal, HR support, ICT in any kind of digital communications, marketing, and so forth. So just to quickly, before I wrap up my last slide, so I give some time to Tarek as well from Sharjah. Once we introduce the startup to our system, in this case, once you are a winner in the system, we start working with you by massive mentorship and by doing due diligence if your startup is good, and what does it provide to UAE ecosystem, and can this startup produce in UAE and export, even if it's a service, license-based service company, or if it's just a plain product, can we export this product from UAE outside to outside world? So we start working with the startup to come up with the correct pitch deck for our specific IC session. And in our IC, like I said, we have a member from BP, we have a member from the gentleman who's running the strategic planning of Masdar. We have from Audio, Deputy Director General, and we have from the Khalifa University as well. So this is a joint work that we really pay a lot of attention to a startup. It's not a 5-minute pitch session, it's a full 30-minute pitch session that we also give some time, some major time to a startup to be prepared. So that takes about 2 to 4 weeks, and then we take the startup to investment committee session. One question came from Wissam, that yes, you are, even if you are internationally located, we do it online until the time comes, and once we do the internal review, and if needs to be some rework to repitch to the investment committee, we do it. We've done it for 2 startups already, so that they can concentrate on the full idea, the sustainable idea. And then we do some negotiations with the startup, and once they score acceptable points, then we take it to the board review and for final approvals for the startup to be in the system. So the whole thing takes about, let's say, 2 months. But within this 2 months, we work very, very closely with the startup to to provide correct mentorship. So yes, you can be outside, but once you're accepted outside UAE, but once you're accepted in our system, we fly you down to UAE to do the final works, which is we go to the next stage, starting up the company as a limited liability operations in Masdar Free Zone, which we have a one-stop shop. It's very, very fast, and everybody there is very knowledgeable. They know their works. So you set up the company and you start your operations immediately. So we try to make your life a lot easier. In some cases, we do provide accommodation for those startups to relocate. And believe it or not, the startups are, we have one startup going to relocate from St. Petersburg. We have another one from Paris, St. Petersburg, Russia, another one Paris, one from India, Australia. The gentleman, he moved from Australia to India, and now he's coming down here to do his operations. So our startup average age is 35 at the moment. Most of them are coming from a professional background to execute their works. But yes, as long as I see one of the questions, once the team leader is over 18, yes, then the rest of the team could be younger. We welcome young minds, of course, always. So company is set up, you have the LLC, you have the email, your your marketing packages you created, you know your product, then we work very closely with you. The first 4 to 6 months is very important for a startup to move on. I'm finishing up. But after that, we go to demo day. Demo day is where we're targeting you to receive Series A or B type of funding. And during this time, we do correct valuations from 3 different teams. And once this is done, if you receive your additional funding, then you continue doing your work, and you can be in our post program. We welcome and urge you to stay in Masdar City because you've already established your headquarters. And of course, you tap into all our networking so that you can sell your product, open new doors, and go to outside world in a faster way. So this is how we operate. Can I go back to the question real quick, if you don't mind? Can I see the question?
The question from the people?
No. My question, if I mentioned,
I will address that. Okay. I just want to give an indication here about 2 things. One, for all attendees, I just want to clarify one thing. One is that we do not have, the winners of the Covhack are not automatically enrolled in the Catalyst acceleration program. This is one. So the winners, they are the winners of the Covhack. Now, if they are eligible to enter your program, this is something will be based on the board of Catalyst to decide whether they think the winners will be taken on board with them. So this is for all the audience to clarify it. Do not confuse between the acceleration program of the Catalyst and what the Covhack opportunity is. Number 2, Chinar, last time you were telling us that you are seeing a surge in the number of startups coming up these days with opportunities. What has changed in your opinion? Do you think that the VCs and accelerators are still funding startups, or you think that you have more startups than funding these days?
Definitely, they're much more careful right now when it goes to VC. Yeah, we operate very closely with BP Ventures, specifically with BP Ventures, of course, and they do have some companies that willing to open their offices in Masdar City. We're working on that. It's a high-level work, but this COVID, I can tell it helped out our startups, especially the new batch that we have, because they can rethink and reiterate their functions. And also many things went online. I want to emphasize, yesterday it was a big news. This one startup, because everybody due to COVID were staying home, and I mentioned during the Youth for Sustainability program today earlier that many startups were, many people at home they were looking things to do. They were either teaching themselves, going to Coursera type of online education and stuff to rethink, reimagine their startup, but then they also had to play. So, and when you go to Carrefour, you cannot even order a Sony PlayStation, but yet it opened different doors. And yesterday, one company from America, Zygo, acquired a gaming company from Turkey for $1.8 billion. So business doesn't stop. Business is moving. Online businesses are moving, but let's not forget there's a reality world out there that you need to look into physical materials to produce things from recycled, or go to do efficiency for renewable projects and so forth. So this time worked great, I think, for startups. VCs also staying at home, so they're not wasting money and time on the road going to meetings and that. So it was very efficient for everybody to see more startups. And yes, we do see a lot more startups now. We're keeping the IC investment committee members quite busy because we have another four to review before the board meeting and so. So it worked well. But if it goes beyond September or so, it's where I will say the red flag could come up, especially for startups who needs to produce goods at their location. If they cannot access, it's a problem. But for the ecosystem, especially for UAE, I think it worked good until now. And we'll see from now on. But that's why one of the reasons that we're going to look into biotech or health tech is because of we saw different examples in the world that whoever had a 3D printer created a network among the country to come up with face shields and masks, etc. So these are very interesting times that we're all living it.
Food and agri-tech, is it on your top priorities these days?
Yes, food and agri-tech, because especially knowing the source of the food that's coming to your table is the biggest deal. That we're paying a lot of attention for such startups, let's say. And Masdar is a great place for especially vertical farmers. We have some farming companies in Masdar City, in the tech park zone. So yes, I mean, deep down, when you look at it right now, whoever I speak to, they're saying like, we cannot stay in the city. We need to, because yes, one is you're stranded in an apartment, especially if you're in a crowded city in Italy or Spain, etc. So they all want to go outside the city and set up a farm and grow their own food. So it is a big deal. It's a big deal. And it's a big deal also in UAE, and we've been doing our job pretty much to promote.
Thank you, Chinar. Tarek, if you're with us, we'd just like to can you give us a bit of explanation about the Sharjah Acceleration Program and how do you see the industry of the food-related innovation and agri-tech in your priorities these days?
Sure thing. Thank you for giving me the stage. First of all, on a high level, us at the Sharjah Research and Technology Park, we're focusing on two main things, which is venture creation and stimulating the ventures from that perspective.
I think we lost him. Lamis, in the meantime, can you please share with us the polling questions until Tarek gets back to us? We have 3 polling questions. If you can join us. Please, maximum participation will help us in this process. So Chinar, one more point I would like to raise here. It's that if the startups, as the questions we received earlier, if they are not based in UAE,
yes,
so and they win to be part of your program, do they need to open a branch in Abu Dhabi, or this is something? How does it work?
Well, we do have samples right now. I mean, example companies, like they already set up their startup in, like I said, in St. Petersburg, Russia. But because of the market and because of accessibility to the world, UAE is a better choice for them. Yes, the funding is there. Yes, we do provide accommodation and travel expenses are taken from the budget that we provide them. But the most important thing is they're willing to come to UAE, because that's why we are all doing this together. It's a small country, but yet very active country. Logistically, is highly developed since 1950s, let's say.
Thank you.
I mean, that's why it's not a problem for an international applicant to apply to us and get acceptance and coming down here. Of course, if the flights are open, but once they set up, we urge them to have their headquarters in Abu Dhabi, in Masdar City. But they have to keep their offices open for selling perspective or for point of contact, for maintenance or servicing the goods that they sell in that region. Yes, they have to keep it open. However, we urge them to bring the headquarters to UAE. And trust me, it's they like to do it. They're willing to do it because it's not just about the money. Like I said, the funding is, in some areas, are massive in some countries, but it's not that. It's networking. It's how you can bring your product to the next level. How can you scale it? These are the questions. So whether they come to Sharjah or to Abu Dhabi, to Dubai, as a matter of fact, we're all one team that we're doing it for UAE to bring, and it's a great ecosystem. I mean, I tell everybody that yes, during COVID they were all stranded in an apartment, but in Abu Dhabi we were quite okay. So I cannot complain. And
we will start the Q&A session here. I will start to answer the question or pass the questions to the team. So some questions has been answered already. Ali was asking what exactly the winners get, since the Sharjah and Catalyst are not automatically accessed. Ali, as we explained, the winners will get mentorship, direct mentorship by Khalifa Fund and the Minister of Climate Change from 3 months to 6 months. And they will have a free space at the Sharjah Innovation Park as well. Yes, Jesse, we will send you the... Jesse Forrester, thank you for joining us. We know you're doing great.
Jesse, I know Jesse. Hello,
so
Jesse.
I'm going to share with you our presentation soon. Lamis will send it to you. Zena, the submissions have to be completely new. Not really. I mean, some of them, it all depends on the judging committee. You know, it's a competition. And at the end, we're looking about innovative ideas here and what works. So it's up to you. How do you want to present your innovation? The number of participants can be there in a group. Actually, there should be a minimum of 3 people. And at the end of the day, there's someone is asking the number of the team. You know, we need at least a team of 3 people in any team, so that it's a bit more serious. The opportunity here is that the better is your team, the better is for you to submit, because the judges are going to look at the quality of the team participating as well. So Usha is saying, I'm a teacher, can I start up an enterprise? Afra, what do you say about that?
I would say, why not?
Yes.
I think everyone should participate.
Okay. So can the project be about more than one focus area? No, actually your submission should be about one focus area. You cannot present more. So it's better for you to select what is the best topic for you. So can we focus, Vivek is asking, on area other than food, such as energy? Your innovation should be about food and agriculture. And if you're presenting energy, it should be within the context of energy, context of food and agriculture production. So if you have an energy efficiency in the agri-tech business or in the food tech, then yes, but energy in general, no, it will not be accepted. So can I start up, enter the Catalyst system outside of the COVID challenge? Actually, this depends on what you have. Today, any startup can roll out, can apply, I think, yes, Chinar, to your program.
Yes, definitely.
But if you win the program with us, you'll have much more advantages to be prioritized, because today Chinar receives hundreds of applications, but the winner will have quite a what we call it an easy access to be presented to the board, whether they want or not. So you will pass many other applications, and you will get priority to see whether your innovation would work with them or not. Can I join with an idea related? Amna al-Shahi is asking related to water technology. Amal, what do you say about that?
Absolutely, we encourage it actually. Water technologies, we're looking at water efficiency, irrigation, innovation in irrigation, and innovation in cooling solutions as well. So we have multiple actually ways that we are looking at water solutions, whether it's irrigation, cooling, alternative water as well. So absolutely, why not?
But Amal should be within, but Amal should be within the agriculture and the
within
food.
the agriculture, definitely.
Yeah,
and it's easily, I mean, if you are innovating something about water, it will, and it's sustainable, it will definitely be probably linked to agriculture.
Patricia is asking, Amal, this is a question for you as well. She's saying is a food innovation in convenience snacking made of sustainable ingredients eligible? Which category snacking? Do you see them under which category they can enter the 8? So
here I mean, we can take a look at it, but here we were really focusing more on energy and water sufficiency, efficiency, smart solutions, food loss and waste,
delivery.
Energy, yes, and greenhouses is also another, smart greenhouses, urban farming. So maybe if it's under urban farming or smart solutions, reducing food loss and waste, if it's under one of these categories, definitely it could work.
Okay. So just to refresh everyone that beside what Amal was saying about the topic, please visit our website to see the exact focus area where they are. And remember that urban farming, there is a lot of focus on it, or indoor farming. And number 2, you have something which is called the distribution channel and delivery. So today there have been a lot of discussion. I don't know if it was with Afra, with you when we spoke it last time, or it was with Amal. We were talking about farm to table. Is that today a lot of farmers are facing challenges as well in delivering their food to the end consumer. And then maybe some people will come up with some innovative idea that can secure the quality, and number 2, the delivery of food fresh to the table. So remember that we're talking about not only innovation to do in production, but as well in delivery, as well in waste management and food loss. There is a question here asking if Donavali is asking, can there be more than 3 people? Of course, minimum should be 3 people with the team, and anything above. So if you're the leader of the team, Donavali, is up to you the type of team you want to build, because the judges are going to be very careful about the foundation of your team. And remember that, let's say, make sure that you have one involved in engineering, one involved, let's say, in technology, one involved in strategy, in sales. So make sure that there is no overlap in the team. So, regarding the age category, as we said, we need to have the leader of the team should be above 18, but the other members of the team, it's up to them. But we are going to look at it very carefully about the quality of the team you are selecting, which is something is going to be one of the key areas of selection. Now, I would like to end our session. We are on time, which is great, by the way. We love to be on time. So thank you so much for everyone who joined the session. But before we leave, I would like to thank Minister of Climate Change, Khalifa Fund, Masdar, United Nations 75, Sharjah Research Technology Innovation Park, and Catalyst for hosting such an amazing program and encouraging the startups and the people in the community members, to be part of something very important, not only to to the world economy and the world food security, but as well to advance innovation as well and accelerate it and give opportunity to people, even while they are staying at home, you are still giving them opportunity to create businesses and to rely on their entrepreneurship skill and the complex problem solving. Thank you so much for your support. And I really, in the name of everyone here, we wish all the luck to all participants. And I just, for the final, 18th of June is the deadline. Please make sure that you apply and even tell your friends and make sure that we have maximum number of participants. Thank you so much for everyone being here. And I wish you a very great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.